That was just a warning, which is something I don't want to put on YouTube. That's why I not start recording. But thank you so much for that. For that, I really appreciate that. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, let's start from the first one. Let's start from this one. Higher equity Pamolo, this big glass of the toast. Okay, drug discovery and virus accessibility, why scientific protection, to pay the patient to know them the most. Okay, I think I've read this one before, so I'll just go over the correction. Majorly, this look, let's start with the word counts. This is 204. So this is actually still acceptable because I said it should be between 200 to 250 words. And normally, your whole commentary should be between 2,000 to 5 to 3,000 words. So abstract being 200 to 50 words is still very, very recommendable. So now over the years, numerous groundbreaking these drugs with the potential to revolutionize the future of patient health have been discovered. The drug discovery process have been okay, because I've read it before, where they have been to know about something. So the question is now this abstract, remember what's the abstract supposed to do? Abstract is supposed to summarize everything we have done or we will be doing in that particular paper. So now we have this imply that now the first thing she's saying here, she's trying to tell us the challenges of drug discovery, what drug discovery, the obstacle drug discovery is currently facing. And she said that it is inaccessible, unavailable, and unaffordable, which are the challenges. So the next question is, what is the constant improvement? Now she's linking it to what are the recommendations. So despite the development of cutting edge technology, the discovery of I think this is like a repetition or tautology, but yeah, it still works. This commentary focuses on the gap. So she also tell us um sorry what the paper is trying to achieve. Ultimately, it argues that why breakthrough in artificial intelligence, computer assist, and novel computer to they really translate to availability. Okay, one thing I would have said or would just be like an addition, not like a correction. It would just be like a suggestion. Suggestion is that even though you've done so well, like this is actually a well put abstract, I won't even lie. Just that obviously you want to submit, there will still be some touch. But honestly, this is actually a well put together abstract. So I would have said, or I would advise you add some of the innovation that will aid accessibility of this drug. I think that would make it that would make this abstract very complete. This is very good. But if you have added some of the innovation is not supposed to be kept in the body. Even though we can keep it, but yeah, it is advisable. It's advisable we can just write some of the innovation inside our abstracts, but it's still very, very okay. So I'll just grade this one like an like a 8/10. So I can give it a 9. It's just so good. Okay, so now let's go back to other assignments. So let's look at it. So I believe thank you. So yes, I've read this one again also. So I'll not be reading it like it's the first one. So let's look at it. What are we trying to do here? We are trying to harness herbal medicine and nanotechnology for the Nigerian next medical breakthrough. Okay, like herbal medicine, that's the conventional treatment, and nanotechnology, that's like the futuristic therapeutic approach for Nigeria's next medical breakthrough. More like centered to Nigeria or specific for Nigeria. Okay, good. Now let's go to it. Herbal medicine have long been used for therapeutic processes in Nigeria. Various phytochemicals, including blah blah blah. Okay, exhibit potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant property. However, please try to read with me so you can learn from others, their thought process and how they are. Maybe you would even point out to visible mistake or obvious mistakes, or you can just see your own. You can just understand it better by looking or by reading to other people text. Okay. However, one of the major challenges. Wait, hold on. Okay. Various phytochemicals. Okay, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Okay. However, one of the major challenges associated with our medicine is that dose dependent. Okay, we are trying to link herbal medicine, the conventional and the futuristic therapeutic approach. Okay, this is one of the challenges. Okay, at low concentration, many herbal combination. Okay, good. And technology assistantly. Now, okay, before then, okay, let me just try to do the correction one by one. We can see one thing is that we have one challenge that we are facing, which is dose dependent nature. I think that's the major challenge he's pointing out that we have. Majorly, I think if you have one challenge, you as a scientist, you would not want to put your money there, or it's still like we have a lot of challenges facing science innovation. So when you just list out one challenge, I want to know how many, I want to read more on just more than just a challenge. I think that should be one thing you should improve on. Instead of just writing one challenge, you should add as much as possible, maybe like two, three, four, five, more like that. Okay, now she has said now she has introduced us a little about herbal medicine and she told us the challenges. Now she wants to tell us about nanotechnology. That is as recently emerged and promising started doing. Okay. The integration of nanotechnology into herbal medicine could therefore optimize their pharmacokinetic profile and therapeutic efficacy. Okay, although herbal medicine have shown efficacy in the management of hypertension, the integration of nanotechnology presents a promising approach to overcome this challenge. Okay, so the challenges, this is the challenge, a big introduction about nanotechnology. Then you can see the recommendation of nanotechnology in improving the bioavailability, stability, control release. Okay, then this review examine how nanotechnology can facilitate dosage, standardization, and optimize therapeutic. Further research to focus on. Okay, this is where my yeah, she's not even on the call. Anyway, so this is where my problem lies actually. So we are trying to write an abstract which is supposed to be everything we cover in that particular paper. So why do we have further research here? Why do we have yeah Sergeant? So I was trying to say this look well put together, honestly. Like we gave the challenge which we are facing, why we need to change from conventional and therapeutic approach, which is the herbal medicine, to um to futuristic approach, which is the nanotechnology. Then you also gave us a little introduction about nanotechnology and the significance of nanotechnology. But then you said this review examine how nanotechnology can facilitate disease standardization and okay. So now this is what the paper is trying to achieve. Now inside the abstract, I can even see research gap. You don't understand research gap. You said further research should focus on when you want to do write a review. Please don't put your research gap inside your abstract. It's even better in introduction. But most of the time, you usually put your research gap inside the conclusion, um, or there's something we call um, or the last outline, the second to the last outline, or the last outline. Most of the time, usually conclusion or further researches, yeah, something like that, or future implications, something like that. So please don't put research gap inside there. inside this one. So yeah, this is actually a well put together one, but I think it can be done better. So I'll just say and a 7/10. Yeah, but it's very, very good. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one. Um, so yeah, I think I'll be a little bit faster now because yeah, we have a long way to go. Okay, let's go. Yeah. I've not read this before, so I don't know what I'm expecting. Okay, these are just topics. I will look through this other time. Okay, thank you for writing those topics down though. That's very commendable. Um, okay, tangerine. Wow. A potential food source for, for preventing specific cancer. Okay, so let's go. Citrus reticulata is a fruit rich in vitamins C and A, fiber antioxidants that not only support the immune system, skin health, and digestion, but may also lower the type of risk of cancer. Okay, although cancer prevention drugs like, please, what are we trying to achieve again? Tangerine. Okay, we are trying to like discuss about tangerine, like the potential of tangerine solving or preventing specific cancers. Okay, now these are what tangerine contains, right? And this is they said may also help to lower the risk of certain cancer due to high content of beneficial bioactive compound like this. Okay. Although cancer prevention drugs like tamoxifen, we have like ranitidine, okay, all the current drugs, which are mainly used for breast cancer control, help to slow down the growth of malignant cells. They have a wide spectrum of side effects, including anemia. Okay, this is the challenge facing the current therapeutic approach. They have anemia, hair loss, nausea, vomiting, we have fatigue. Okay, this research paper aims to encourage the adoption of natural food sources, thereby reducing the reliance which have adverse side effects. With this, everyone can gain access to. Honestly, this is very good because now the first thing she explained is why tangerine is better. She told us the contents of and the nutritional value of tangerine and the beneficial nutritional value of tangerine to solve specific cancer. And um, she also what do you say, compare and contrast with the current therapeutic approach, which is the all the drugs like let me just say immunomodulatory drugs such as tamoxifen, raloxifene. We have anastrozole, exemestane. All those drugs, she said, they causes a variety of challenges, which include anemia, hair loss. So she's now trying to encourage us to adopt the natural food sources such as tangerine to cure specific paper. But I feel like, anyway, this is good, but it's arguable. Like the topic is arguable, but the abstract as a whole is, I understand what I'm trying to read. I understand what will be done in this particular paper. Okay, so this is a good paper and a good abstract. So I'll be giving it a 9/10. I'll be getting it 9/10 because obviously. So yeah, okay, I get a message that review message that is you can actually write a research gap in the abstract. Okay, from my own knowledge, I don't know that before. Well, yeah, thank you for sending that to my dear. I really appreciate that. So I actually don't know. We can add research gap inside our abstracts, but now I know better. Thank you. Okay, so now let's move on. Um, sorry, what's the next one? Um, radiation therapy for breast cancer. Oh, radiation therapy for breast cancer and associated cardiac implication. A call for collaborative effort between. Okay. Obviously, I knew this person. This person will be a doctor. No. He's the person. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, let me just look at it. So we have abstract. So what are we trying to achieve? Let me read it again. The radiation therapy for breast cancer and cardiac implication. Okay, radiation therapy is one of the therapeutic approach against breast cancer. So this paper is trying to talk about uh, the the therapeutic approach and the cardiac implication it leaves on the body of on the patient's body. So she's trying to call for effort between the cardiothoracic surgeon and the oncologist. Okay, so the management of breast cancer in a recent time has significantly increased, although many therapeutic approaches potentiate a parallel increase in cardiac implication. Okay. Radiotherapy. Now she gives a best introduction for radiotherapy here. So despite the complex relationship between cardiovascular and cancer, both remain the leading cause of death worldwide. Okay. Research reviews radiotherapy for breast cancer as a potential risk for 125.5 cases of cardiovascular per 100,000 person. Yes. I don't know. So, well, research reviews radiotherapy for breast cancer management as a potential risk factor for 125.5 cases of cardiovascular death by under 100,000 persons years. Okay, maybe I don't understand. Maybe there is a typographical error there. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that does not understand the English. But I do understand that there, there is a potential risk of 125.5 cases in 100,000 people. But I don't know if it is here or I think it should just be 100,000 person. Okay, let's move on. Therapy exposes women to 30%. Okay. More like she's trying to argue that radiotherapy can also lead to um, increased cardiovascular disease. I'm sorry, cardio-oncology and emerging specialty ensure compression. Okay, I actually understand, but yeah, this is not my field, so I have minimum understanding of this. But yeah, this is actually well put together also. So the thing is, she told us the relationship of cancer, of the therapeutic approach, how it can lead to cancer, and anything. Let me just say anything in the upper region, from the chest, or everything in the cardiac region, from the chest to the lungs to the heart diseases. So she's trying to call for help that this radiation therapy can cause complication in this region. So she's trying to suggest an alternative treatment to minimize cardiovascular pain. Even though she's trying to suggest an alternative treatment, I cannot have a glance of the treatment. Is it nanotechnology? Is it STAR-SPR? What is the alternative treatment? Should we use, instead of using radiation therapy, should we use the normal drug we use for breast cancer, such as the one I just listed, or the immunomodulatory drugs that we listed the other time? I think I should have a glimpse of the drugs or the new or the alternative treatments to minimizing cardiovascular risk. I think that's what this thing is lacking. But then you understand what she's trying to do in this abstract, and what the paper is trying to address. So I'll be getting it a 6/10. But yeah, it's above average. So yeah, it's a pass. So do we still have anyone who wants to let's see, let's look at this. Bridging the translation gap. Haha. Oh my goodness, can I even understand this? Bridging the translation gap, the cost benefit analysis for the widespread clinical adoption of, okay, mediated drug delivery. Okay, don't blame me. I'm trying to look at it, but let's read it though. So MRG HUS is a novel, non-invasive therapeutic technique. Okay, a new technique using using the treatment against Parkinson and fibroid. No, 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 no. Most of the time, we don't have the reference to abstract. So please don't have the reference. Most of the time, we don't have the reference to abstract. Yeah, that was my first correction. Please don't have the reference. I said most of the time. There are some exceptions. Yes, you can, but most of the time people don't because we are writing comments in research paper. So it is supposed to be what you gain in your what you write in your paper, not that you are referencing other paper. So most of the time we don't. But yeah, they can be an exception case. But I don't want this to be an exception case. That's why I'm correcting that. Okay, a key mechanism of application include the opening of BDB. Okay, we all know that. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think I know that Parkinson is caused by um, dopamine not reaching the or not crossing the blood-brain barrier. So now she's saying that this MRGFUS, okay, MRGFUS will try to potentiate drugs that normally they could not cause the blood-brain barrier to cause it, right? This capability has contributed to improve symptoms control, prolonged period of symptoms remission, and minimal side effects, collectively leading to enhanced quality of life. Okay, good, good. Okay. Although the efficacy of MRGF has been substantiated across numerous studies, there remain a critical gap in the literature concerning the challenges associated with its clinical integration. Okay, she is trying to tell us the clinical challenges now. The the key barriers is the high cost of MRGFS, the expense. Okay, this paper aims to conduct a cost benefit analysis to identify strategies that may facilitate the widespread adoption of this innovative therapeutic modality. I think from what I understand from this particular thing is that we have drugs normally that could not cross the BBB, right? So this MRGFS is trying to potentiate this drug, right, which were previously ineffective. Now, when they cross the BBB, they will be able to exert their effectiveness on or their pharmacological action on the body or on the brain. So in the body or in the brain. So but one challenge facing this MRG FES implication or implementation is that it is costly. The treatment is approach is costly. So this paper is trying to analyze the a cost benefit analysis for widespread adoption of this innovative treatment modality. I would say this is actually very good. Like I understand, even though I have little knowledge about the field, still I still understand. I may not be 100% accurate, right? But still I have understanding of this. So I'll be giving it, but then I think I should have a little bit of the cost benefit analysis there, maybe like just a breakdown, even though it will not be explained, it will not be explanatory, it will not be yes, will not it will not but I think I should have a cost benefit analysis. It's more like a suggestion. It's not like this one. If you actually submit this, it can be what do you call it? It can be posted. I'm sorry, it can be published. That's English. It can be published. But I'm just saying I'm advising. Most of the thing I've done today is just like it's not like a suggestion, it's not like an advice, not like because everything look like you guys are already professional. Probably you guys have an experience before because you guys are not writing like a you're not writing like a newbie. So I guess you guys have experience before and which or maybe I teach a little bit better. I don't know. But you guys write well, which I really appreciate. Okay, so this paper aims to conduct a course, but I suggest or I advise that we should have some benefit some some of these analysis here, but not explanatory. But yeah, this is a well put together. So I'll be rating it a 7 or 8. No, let me just 8/10. Yeah, because I understand this complex grammar. Okay. So we'll be stopping there today. I think that was the last one today. Yeah, thank you. I hope we all gain from that correction. So please try to submit it as early as possible so I could research for next one now. And also the next thing, one thing we learned here is that we can also add our research gap in the review after paper. I personally don't know that before, and this is why we need to do continuous learning. It's very beneficial. Okay, so today's business, it's quite easy, which is why I think correction is very, very important. Okay, before we move on, let me try to emphasize this. Today we were actually supposed to start our commentary research paper this week, right? This week. But I was actually supposed to list out the commentary research paper last week, but sorry, this week. But this week was quite busy for me. You know, I have a lot of responsibility at hand that I need to carry out, which was quite important. And um and that led me to be very, very busy that I could not even remember to do that. So yeah, me and my team will work hand in hand and we will try to commence the commentary research paper as soon as possible. So we all know that we have different type of research paper. We have the review research paper, we have the commentary research paper, we have the original research paper or primary research paper, and others that letters editor and stuff like that. So we are done or almost done with commentary research paper. We have done the abstract, the introduction, how to write the body, right? What else? Reference, the citation, the reference, we've done that. Also, I think the last thing in the commentary research paper will be the conclusion, which I think is basically easy, just like you concluding everything you've written, just writing a summary of it. We all know how to write conclusion, even though we still be treating it. So today we should be starting another type of research paper, which is a review. You know, we have different type of review. We have the narrative review, we have the scoping analysis, scoping and meta analysis. We also have we have the scoping analysis, narrative review, we have the meta analysis. I can't remember, there are three or four. So meta analysis, scoping review, narrative review. Okay. So yeah, I can only remember three currently now. I think there are three or there are four. So we've been moving on to review today. So my plan is that before we are done with before this is the second month actually. We started in October. This is the second month. Before the end of this month, I want us to have worked and submit a paper, a peer review paper on what we call it, a peer review paper on a community research paper. And probably the next month, which will be December, probably we'll be writing another review. So that would be a two paper. That would be two paper that will be peer review that will be submitting. And please, if you have a paper or you have a topic in mind that you want to write on, please commentary. Or if it is not commentary, please don't bring it now for now. So when we are done, maybe let's say we are done with when we are done with commentary, we are done with sorry, when we are done with our review and you want to write the review paper now, you can do that. So but if you have any commentary research paper that you want to write on, personally we can or you have a team, yeah, we can develop that together. But um that's not compulsory. The compulsory thing is that we need to have at least two people together, which and we need to start as soon as possible. So my team and I will work together and we communicate how best to go about this project. Okay, so let's just move on to today's work. It basically is very, very easy. So we'll be looking at review research plan. So can someone still unmute their mic and confirm they can hear me and see my screen very well before I start? Can you see my screen and hear me very well? Yeah, can they hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, like I'm
Okay,
here.
great. Oh, good, good. Okay. Okay, we have types of review paper, review research paper, type of review. We have the scoping analysis, we have the narrative review, we have meta-analysis. Okay, I'll look for the other one, the fourth one, because I think it should be more than two. So I think it should be more than three. I think it should be like four. Or if not, it should be three. But I will confirm next class. That means tomorrow I will be finalizing the types of digital paper. So this type there it is prone to mistakes. That means I may make a mistake. So maybe I think scoping analysis and meta analysis are together. Oh, systematic review. God bless you. Yeah, that's the one I want to remember. Systematic review. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh yeah. So now these are the four type of review paper that we have. Thank you, Dario. So this scoping review, scoping analysis, meta-analysis, and systematic review, most of the time you usually compare population, you usually compare the statistics, you usually compare different review paper, different research paper, right? So we'll be discussing about narrative review today. Narrative review is quite flexible. So let me just control C. Okay. So now let's discuss about narrative review. From the word narration, it's quite flexible, and we should know something about review. I think I should start from there. Review has generally has more word counts than than commentary. So if you are writing 2,500 words to 3,500 words for commentary, you're expected to write something like between the range of 4,000, 3,000 to 5,000 words for narrative review, or even more. So we try to count the narrative review word counts as soon as possible when we are reviewing public papers yeah on databases, on public databases. So narrative review is more like when it's flexible, that is, you are not comparing numbers, you are not comparing statistics, but you can. Okay, let me start like this. Narrative review can be in two types. We have one that can follow the IMRA structure. I think I should start like that. We have one that can follow the IMRA structure, and we have one that can follow the commentaries research paper. So let me just start commentary. I can follow the commentary research paper structure, which is the introduction, um, abstract introduction. Obviously, abstract has to be there. Introduction, body, conclusion, then reference. I believe by now everyone should know what IMRA structure is. So, so we have these two type of this narrative review. We have the one that followed IMRA structure and the one that follow um commentary research paper, which is what I write. I wrote com here, which signifies commentary research paper. That is the introduction, body, conclusion, and reference. Okay, now most of narrative review follow this introduction, body, conclusion, and reference. So if you are that type of people that type of person that writes for fun, or you enjoy writing, or you don't want to be boxed in a particular rule, I think narrative review is something you should look into. So narrative review is just like you trying to compare. It is narration. You are trying to narrate it, you are trying to start from the history of that particular thing you are trying to do, then to the futuristic implication or futuristic implementation of flipping futuristic therapeutic approach. You are starting from then to future, more like from the history to future. You're trying to write. So now let me just give an example. So let's write on. I think I have a great example. Let's just get on. Now let's just start with this. Hmm, Okay. Okay. Let's look at this. So now let's say we want to write narrative review here. So we can actually start with introduction. Sorry, we have to start with abstract, obviously. I think if I should not have abstract by now, we should know that abstract is common. It's quite important, and it is very important that it's there. After abstract, you can start with introduction, and after our introduction, you can write method, discussion, discussion, and enumerate results. Okay, it's actually supposed to be method result discussion, then conclusion here, then reference. Or we can follow this structure. We can follow is either we follow this structure or we follow let's say abstract introduction, body, or else conclusion, conclusion and what last one? Reference. Okay. Okay, let me just write it like this. So we can recognize it when we so how do we know which one to use? Are we supposed to use this A? Okay. Are we supposed to use A or are we supposed to use B? So you will know according to the directives of the journal you're trying to submit to. So there are some journal that they want their narrative reviews to be in enumerate structure, to follow enumerate structure. And there are some that are flexible, and there are some that are rigid that, oh no, I want the commentary research paper type of structure. So it depends on the journal. So you are not the one that will dictate, okay, I'm actually supposed to follow A or B, but it depends on the journal you will be submitting your manuscript after you are done writing. So it will be the one that will direct you that, okay, follow this structure or follow this structure. But either of them, they are simple and I think you can write on majority of them. But mostly when you are writing a review, you follow this structure, which is the commentary research paper. Most of the time, this is what we follow. But there's cases where we follow this. You know, there are a lot of cases, but most of the time, this is what we follow. Okay, now let's just try to analyze this. Let me copy it again. Okay, before I do this, maybe this will be like a class talk. One research topic comes to my head now. So let's say geriatric problems. Let me say geriatric disease. Yeah, the narrative review. Most of the time, when you are writing narrative review is usually at the end of the topic. Most of the time, I'm not saying all the time. So most of the time, geriatric disease. Am I right? Geriatric. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let's say this is a research narrative review topic, geriatric disease. So what are geriatric diseases? We all know that geriatric diseases are diseases that happen that are associated with old age, right? So can someone list out the geriatric disease that we have that you know? Anyone? Let's make it interactive. Anyone? You can if you are shy to talk, you can put it in the chat box. Anyone? I'm waiting now. You have diabetes, good. Anyone list as much as possible, please. What's it? Yeah, Pakistan. You have dementia. As much as possible, please. Arthritis, good. Arthritis. And which one? Okay. Four. Okay, one more then. Let's round it up to five. Anyone? Okay.
Then
Alzheimer. Okay, good. Okay,
glaucoma.
now. What's it? Gly glaucoma. I believe that's what I heard. Okay. I think that's what she said also. Okay, let me just copy this one. Okay, I will still write it though. I've copied it. Let me add it. Okay, the first thing you want to write here is that we be we are starting for okay. What are geriatric disease? Obviously, we have to define our topic. What is geriatric diseases? So now we are just trying to write on geriatric disease, right? So the first thing is we define our geriatric disease, stuff like that. So the next thing we want to do is the history of geriatric disease, if there's any history attached to being or because I don't think there will be. Sorry, water. And we can actually say what is, but this one will be just okay. So the next thing will be is there can be history. Let's say we are trying to talk about um the treatment plan for Alzheimer disease now. So now we start from okay, where do we start? Where do we start treating them? Is it with the use of leaf? Is it with the use of microorganism? Is it with the use of non-pharmacological therapy such as heat, cold water, stuff like that? There can be there can be a lot of history in the treatment approach of Alzheimer. So we don't know that. But for geriatric disease, oh, personally, I don't think there will be history for it. But it can be history, maybe how they do it in sorry, how they treat geriatric disease in the 19th century compared to 20th century. So let me just start with history. So I think there can be history of the therapeutic history of attracting of attacking or in the treatment plan of geriatric disease. Let me just use simple English. So after the history plan, so we want to look at the history. I'm just trying to from history. So let's look at the implication. Maybe you want to write on implication of geriatric disease. So after the implication, maybe you want to write on the challenges faced. Sorry, challenges faced by old people, but challenges faced by the old people in the let me just read this. So challenges faced by the old people or these patients. Then after then, you want to start with the treatment plan. That is all the treatment plan that you know. Let's say what are the treatment plan? So these are our 1.0. After we are done with obviously you start with abstract 1.0, introduction 2.0, then just add this on 3.0. So this will be our 4.0. This will be 5.0. So there's no there is no stick what we say standard rule. Would I say standard rule or I would say static rule for writing narrative review. So now 7.0 will be treatment plan. What are the treatment plan that we have? Sorry, instead of I said treatment plan. We are trying to talk about geriatric disease, Abby. So now 7.0 will be the one I copied the other time. Yes, 7.0. So we discuss extensively on diabetes, what has been done to diabetes, how diabetes is, what's the causes of diabetes, stuff like that. You discuss about diabetes. 7.2, you discuss about Parkinson. Sorry. 7.2, you discuss about Parkinson. 7.3, no, it can even be 8.0. What am I at? It can be 8.0. This can be 9.0, 9.0, stuff like that. Because this is review, so you expect it to be longer than the one we wrote the other time, which is commenting 10.0, and this one is 12.0. So it's more like we are discussing, we want to write about geriatric disease. We start from writing what is geriatric disease, more like a general knowledge. Narrative review is just like you narrating or giving an overview in-depth knowledge. Let me just say in-depth knowledge about a certain business. we are trying to talk about geriatric disease in this case. We've discussed what is geriatric disease. We've talked about the history of geriatric disease. We've talked about the implication of geriatric disease, challenge faced by the patients of geriatric disease. And now we are talking about all the geriatric disease. We are trying to um, zoom in on each geriatric disease. And we have diabetes, Parkinson. Now we have to talk what do you call it? You have to explain explicitly on each topic. So now let's try to look at it. So when we are done, I will now leave it to us to how can we write this one? If we are trying to write a narrative review on this one, what will be the stuff there? Now let's go to our database. We have different databases that we can use. We have Google Scholar, we have the PubMed. I think we have Scopa also. Let me check Scopa. I don't think Scopa. Most of the time I don't use this. Don't even know how to navigate it. Okay, yeah, but people do use Scopa also. So I think you should um explore this one also. But let me just use the one I do use, Google Scholar. Why I do use Google Scholar is that a lot of a lot of papers are free there. PubMed, a lot of them are not free. So if I want to use PubMed, most of the time I do use SciHub. So we all know the significance of SciHub. So because this one is, I'm not trying to write anything serious. It's just for class. So that's why I'm using Google Scholar more this class. Sometimes I do use PubMed. Sorry, Google Scholar. So now, because I'm trying to write on, let's write on something different today. Geriatric disease. Let's write on geriatric disease. Geriatric disease. Okay, so how do we start? There's something we call Boolean search, which I think I should have explained one or twice in this class. So when you want to write Boolean search, I know I want to write about disease. I know I want to write about geriatric. I know I want to write about disease, geriatric disease basically. And I also know that it is a narrative review. So because I want both of them to be in the paper, I will be needing. So I will add an and in capital letter. So this and means that you will see something geriatric. You will also see what's the next thing? Narrative review. So sorry, this one has to be in small letter. Narrative review. So that means all the paper you will be sharing with this search will be paper that has something relating to geriatric or and paper that also has something relating to narrative review. So if you add or, it is either it will bring paper that have geriatric review or paper that have narrative review. So in this case, I want to use and. It has to be in capital letter. That's what we call Boolean search. You understand that one? If I should launch this one, so you can see all the paper that it is bringing or it is suggesting as geriatric and also as narrative review. So in case you want to write on statistic, maybe you need something like I want to write on, let's say, population of people living with particular disease. So let me just go back there. Let's say I want to write about population of or death of people that are the death of Parkinson disease. So you just write something like death. Death will be in small letter. Death. Then you now write and Parkinson. So in this paper, this one has to be in small letter. So in this particular case, you will see something like death in part. So all these paper now, there's a probability that if I actually look at it, I will be able to get how many percent of people have died from Pakistan. Assuming I need that information, so I can easily use my Boolean search and I will get all the paper. Can you see all the paper is recommending as death as Parkinson disease? So it depends on that's strategic planning, not like you will just be writing Parkinson disease and you expect everything to be there. And now you obviously you have to do your custom range. I do like to use 2020 to 2025, but in certain cases you can also use 2015. I think not too long too, but yeah. But I do like 2020 to 2025. 10 years is not that much too. Can you see all this search here is death and Parkinson disease. So let's just look at this. I need the numbers. So if I should look at this, maybe if I should look through it, I will know how many people are dead. Can you see nearly 203 years have passed? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, presenting. Now this is the prevalence. That is how Pakistan, this is how common it is. Pakistan is this common. That is at least 100 to 200 individual in every 100,000 population is given moment at any given moment. And ordinarily, I would not have gotten this information if I have just searched Parkinson disease. Now that I have known the prevalence, now let's look at the deaths. They said affecting 2 or 3. Okay, now this is just talking about the prevalence. Okay. I don't want to betray you, but I think there will be a death stuff like. If you cannot see it here, at least I've gotten prevalence there, so you can even look at other paper. But these are how to streamline your paper. Okay, let's go back to where we are. Sorry, we are not trying to do searches today. So what I was trying to say, geriatric disease, geriatrics. If I've searched geriatrics only, like let's say I want geriatric disease now. So if I search this one, obviously most of the suggestion, I cannot say anything like narrative review, but I have to narrow it down. So that's why I'm adding my Boolean search here and narrative review. I hope you all understand Boolean search. Sir. Do you understand? Please, can you repeat? Can you reply with an emoji? So I know you guys understand. Okay. Let's start this now. Can we see? We can see geriatric and narrative review. Narrative review. You can see if you actually look at this, you actually see something like geriatric disease there. We can see geriatric narrative review because that's obviously what I need there. Now, okay, let's look at what can show you look at? Let's look at this. Hopefully it will be free so we can look at it. Okay, it looks like it is a free. So from this number of words, you will easily detect that it is longer than commenting research paper. Now let's look to how they've written this one. Let's look to it. So the first thing is abstract, normal abstract. What are we trying to write on? Sorry. Epidemiology and prevention of healthcare associated infection in pediatric patients in narrative review. Okay, like the epidemiology and the prevention techniques. Okay, that's good. So now we've written our abstract, we've written our introduction. So we start our numbering from introduction, that's one. So we have HAIs in healthcare in the elderly. Honestly, I don't know what HAI means, but I think that's like the initials of the microorganism. So we have followed by okay, respiratory tract infection. Okay. I can't seem to know a lot about this. I'm just saying HAI, which I don't even know the meaning. Actually, let me just go to something I know, sorry. Something within my field so I can be able um to look at it. Let's say something like AMR. Mhm. Oh, Springer, obviously. When you see something of Springer nature, most of the time it is not free. But let's check this out. I know it's not free. Now you see, you can only see the abstract, which is this is a structured abstract. I think I've taught us abstract now. You can see we have the background, objective, method, the finding, then conclusion. We cannot see the contents. Oh, we can see the content. Oh, wow. Anyway, let's see down down. Abstract, introduction. materials and method. Okay, this is what I was trying to establish the other time that okay, this also narrative review, right? But we can see that after our introduction, this one is following IMRA structure. We can see after introduction, what is the next thing? We have methods. After methods, we have results. After results, we have I think these are outcomes. So it's not like rigid. So we have our outcome there. So is there any conclusion? Okay, you have conclusion. Then you have author contribution. Okay, now let's look at this one. Majorly, what are we trying to discuss on? Yeah, we are trying to discuss on the impact of AMR, the impact of AMR. So now we start with our introduction. We start with our method. Uh, okay, they said the literature search was conducted. So, come on, I cannot read all these things. But majorly, they are trying to review different paper here. So these are the results they came in. These are the results they agreed on. Then public health outcome. So this one now, can you see he or she is trying to, or they are trying to expatiate more on each public health, which are all the stuff that AMR can cause. We have tuberculosis, we have HIV. So honestly, I wish I can read through it, but yet you can also explore each paper. So they are very easy. Once you understand the guiding step, you can easily look through other paper and look how they've written it. So we have our abstract here. So after abstract, what's the next thing? We have our introduction. Okay. Okay. This looks ugly, so I'll just leave it. I now have enough abstracts, introduction. Can you see this one does not follow the IMRA structure, even though it is still narrative review? Even though it's still narrative review. After our abstract introduction, the next thing we're actually supposed to see method, but the next thing is it went straight into the body. So this is what we have two different type of narrative review. And I was this one trying to focus on. We're trying to focus on antimicrobial response on sheep. So basically, they are just trying to look at the aquatic environment. So they start with the epidemiology. So they start with common AMR that can be found on in the aquatic system. So after that, well, they write on the factors contributing to AMR. After that, what's the next thing? They write on the surveillance. After that one, what's the next thing? They write on the implication. They write on the strategies to mitigate this, and they write on the future. So they start from um as I said earlier, narrative review is more like a commentary research paper, but it's just like you are trying to write on various things. You are just trying to write explicitly on a topic. You can see this topic now. You can't tell if it is addressing the challenges, if it is addressing the impact, if it is addressing the future or the strategies of curbing antimicrobial resistance in the aquatic environment. So it's just like aquatic resistance on ship. Like it is a wide, let me just say broad spectrum topic. If you are doing pharmacology, you understand now. That's a joke. So broad spectrum means like something that has a wide variety of topic inside it. So now it is you or she they are sorry they are starting from what's the first thing? They started from epidemiology. So after epidemiology, they try to write the factors. After factors, they try to write on the surveillance. They wrote on the implication, and they also wrote on the strategies to mitigate this AMR, and they also wrote on the future research direction. So you can easily tell that this is 7.1. So we can have more than just 7. We can have more than you can have up to 10 because this will give you the ability to just write as much as you want. So it is longer than commentary research paper, and it is sweeter to read because there is no restriction, there are no rigid rules, there are no rigid laws for you to abide to. The only thing where I can say there is law is that when you want to submit to journal, you want to know are you conforming to IMRA structure or you are doing the commentary research paper type. So basically that's how to write a narrative review. Okay, before that one, let's look at this paper. Okay, I think I have it here already. Okay. Now, can someone tell me? Now we have something like this. Annexing this one. We want to write a narrative review on this particular topic. So now I want you, anyone, if you cannot use the mic, you can write on the chat box. I want us to suggest what do you think would be the would be the topic we should be writing on. Okay, well, maybe after this one you can just write something like colon a narrative review. A narrative review. Like, I made a mistake there. Okay. So what do you think would be the first thing we should be writing on? Anyone? I want someone to unmute their mic. Oh. I will write all what you list, not like I'll be the one that will be suggesting it. So what would be the first thing? I should call names. Would that be better? Oh, what would be the first thing you'll be writing on in this particular case now? Okay, let me start from you, Zainab. What do you think will be the first thing I'll be writing on? Annexing urban medicine and nanotechnology. Urban medicine is not like the what do you call it? Okay, I think this topic too is too specific for narrative review. So instead of annexing urban medicine, let's just say urban medicine. Uh, let me just say urban medicine. Something like this. Yeah, let's just write something like this. Urban medicine, a narrative review. So instead of we'll be the one that will now say, okay, there is a futuristic therapeutic implication, which is the nanotechnology. Let me just keep it very simple like this. So what would be the first thing we should be writing on designer? Are you there with us?
Saying
Oh yeah, now Zainab.
abstract,
What do you say?
abstract.
I can't hear you. Yeah, obviously abstract. Let's say we are done with abstract and introduction. Sorry, I not count that. Abstract and
Okay,
introduction.
about
So what would be the first thing
environment.
you'll be writing on? Like, yeah, like you are trying to write a narrative review. Remember, narrative review is more like a broad spectrum drug. That is, you can write any topic under it. You understand? So what do you think will be the first thing you'll be starting with? We'll just start with futuristic therapy, what we can use or how you
Mm,
can standardize
like
herbal medicine. Okay, what do you think?
history of urban medicine, like urban medicine from our forefathers.
Okay, do you think we start with history or the definition of herbal medicine?
Mm. It's better you
What do
just
you
start
think?
from them. Definition is better.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, we have what is herbal medicine now. Okay, great. Okay, who is next on my list? Mary, what do you think we'll be writing next? You still with us? Okay, I guess she's not with us. Sophia, do you have any idea? Sophia, are you with us? Okay, I guess she's not with us also. Alima, okay, you're with us.
Yes.
Okay, great. Can you tell me what's next thing you think we should be writing there?
Probably the history of urban
History.
medicine.
I think that's a bonus. Okay, suggest another one.
And
Let's say you
maybe
are done with
like
it.
the
What do you say?
therapeutic effects of herbal medicine.
Yeah, that's a good subtopic. Therapeutic effects. Now let's say therapeutic efficacy of herbal medicine. Okay,
I actually have a
thank you so much.
question.
Okay, I can hear you.
The definition of herbal medicine, I thought that should like come under the introduction aspects.
Okay, yeah. It depends on how you write it, right? You can separate them, you can write it. Okay, let's just say we separate them. So this will come first. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's no rigid rule, as I said earlier. Do you understand? Not like
Yeah.
you have to write introduction, you have to write what is. No, you can write it as you like. It's just narration. You're just trying to narrate everything you know about herbal medicine. Okay,
Okay.
let's say we are done with therapeutic efficacy now. So what will be the next thing, Alima? What do you think you can write? Yeah, within the therapeutic efficacy. What do you think? What do you suggest we should write next? Is she with us, Alima? Okay, I
Yeah,
guess she's not with us.
can
Okay,
you
she's
hear
with
me?
us. Yes, I can hear you.
I think how we can integrate herbal medicines into like today's world and probably dispel some myths about herbal medicines.
Okay, wait. Let's do it step by step. We've introduced what herbal medicine is, or what herbal medicines are. So we've also introduced or we've discussed about the history, that is how herbal medicine has evolved over the years. So now we are trying to look at the therapeutic efficacy. Remember, when you are writing this therapeutic efficacy, we say that herbal medicine virtually can treat all disease virtually, like almost all. There are some drugs that that are gotten from microorganisms, that are drugs that are synthetic. So let's say almost all disease present in this current world, they can be cured by herbal medicine. Not all of them. Like at least 70 or let's say 55% of drugs are made from plants. So we can still argue that almost all are that is therapeutic efficacy. So now we are done with therapeutic efficacy. The next thing we want to write is maybe we've said the good thing about herbal medicine. Maybe you want to talk about the bad side. I think that should come next. So when you are done with the bad side, okay, when you are done with the bad side, I think the next thing will now be like, what is now the current state of herbal medicine in today's world? Okay, what has been done in today's world? Then after what has been done, then I can now move to the futuristic approach, which is the nanotechnology. You understand? Then we write our conclusion. Even though I've even said all the answer. Okay. Do you understand what I just said, Alima? So now maybe we can just write something after therapeutic efficacy now. We can just write something like the challenges of herbal medicine. Now these challenges will now be like, okay, why are we not using that much herbal medicine in today's world? Sorry, what are the challenges of herbal medicine? I think you said dosage clinical, dosage problem. So the next thing will now be like, what's the current state of herbal medicine? Is there any regulation in place, or is there something like dosage regulation in place in today's world? So current state of herbal medicine therapy approach, herbal medicine, therapeutic approach. So after this one, you can also write on the okay, we've said the history, we said the therapeutic efficacy of herbal medicine, we've talked about the challenges, we've talked about the current state. The next thing will be something we want to project into the future. You can just say futuristic approach, futuristic, or let's just say how to solve this, which is recommendation. We can write recommendation, maybe I'll just write it here. Recommendation slash futuristic approach. So futuristic approach. So then you write a conclusion. So let's name this. So can you see already? We already have like 8.0 before conclusion. It is quite huge number. So yeah, that is how to write narrative review. I guess you all understand now. I'll leave you, Anissa. I know I've not called you, but do you understand how to write a narrative review now? How it does, Anissa?
Yeah, yes.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Do anyone have any question? Any question? Okay. So yeah, this is what we call it a night. There will be no assignments today, but hopefully tomorrow we start writing our comment research paper. And please, I want to beg for your coordination. It's not very easy, and research is very boring. Please try to um try to cooperate. Yeah, research is boring, but try to play your part and so we can easily publish this thing as fast as possible. Yeah, thank you for your time, everyone. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, okay. If you have any question, you can ask before we call it a day. Oh, thank you.